Hello, Super Saver. I hope you're healthy and well this week. So, given the rise in reported fraud, identity theft, and other similar cases in recent years, as reported by the Federal Trade Commission here, and the fact that even Treasury Direct has whole sections of their website dedicated to frauds, phonies, and scams, we're continuing today with part 2 of our 3-part series on how to reduce your chances of becoming a victim of identity theft and or other types of fraud, and specifically how to freeze and unfreeze your credit with Equifax, step by step. Freezing your credit helps prevent scammers from posing as you and falsely opening accounts in your name. Do note that you need to freeze your credit separately with each of the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But don't despair. It's free to do, as required by federal law, and it's relatively easy to do. It took about half an hour to do this credit freeze online for me and my husband with all 3 of the major credit bureaus. If you're even more computer savvy like my kids, it might take you only 15 minutes. And if you're less computer savvy like my parents, it may take 45 minutes to an hour. Either way, it's worth the effort, in my opinion, for the security and peace of mind you get in knowing that you're less likely to become a victim of identity theft and or other types of fraud. So let's dive in, my financial friend, and protect your identity. The very first step is to go to Equifax's credit freeze page here. Equifax refers to a credit freeze as a security freeze. I've included the link to this page in the description below. I'm going to click on Get Started with a Freeze, and this Let's Get Started page will appear. Here I'll enter my first name, last name, social security number or ITIN, and my cell phone number. Then I'll scroll down and enter my date of birth here and my address here. And I'll check the box I'm not a robot because, well, I'm not a robot, although my kids might disagree given how often I repeat myself. Anyway, I'll scroll down further and hit the Continue button. And this Create Your Account page will appear. I'll enter my email address here and then re-enter it again here to confirm. And I'll make sure to read through the password requirements so that I can select a proper password. Once I've done that, I'll enter my password here and reconfirm it here. Then I'll click on Terms of Use here to make sure I read through and understand everything. And then I'll check off this box and hit Continue. And this box will pop up asking me to please wait while Equifax looks up my information. Once Equifax has verified my information, this identity verification page will appear, telling me that Equifax will attempt to verify my identity by sending a text with a one-time code to the mobile number that I gave them earlier. I'll click on Yes, Send Me a Text to continue. And on the page that appears next, I'll enter the verification code that was sent to my cell phone here and hit Continue. And here's the polite thank you page I get from Equifax afterwards, telling me that my account setup is complete. I'll hit Continue to keep going. And here's the credit freeze page that appears next. As we can see, my Equifax credit report is not frozen right now, so I'll select Place a Freeze by clicking on this button. And this page will pop up now, telling me that I'm about to place a security freeze on my Equifax credit report. If I scroll down a bit, I can see that placing a freeze is free and that a freeze helps prevent access to my credit report with certain exceptions. Some of these exceptions, the entities who can still see my file while a credit freeze is in place, include but are not limited to creditors of accounts I currently hold, certain government entities like child support agencies, and companies that I've hired to monitor my credit file. Going back to the screen that we were just on, I can also see that the freeze will be placed on my Equifax report only. As I mentioned earlier, to place a freeze on my Experian or TransUnion credit reports, I'll need to contact them directly. And I'll walk you through how to do this in separate tutorials. To wrap up this credit freeze with Equifax though, I'll click on Place a Freeze. And here I am. This page tells me that I've successfully placed a security freeze on my Equifax credit report. If I scroll down now, there'll be more information to read through, as well as this button here to download the confirmation of my Equifax credit freeze in PDF format. And if I click on it, this is the confirmation PDF that I'll get, which I can print out and keep for my record. So let's say that I need to apply for a new credit card or loan. Before I do this, I'll need to log into my Equifax account to unfreeze my credit. And keep in mind, if I also froze my credit with Experian and TransUnion, I'll need to unfreeze my credit with them as well before proceeding with my credit card or loan application. So first, let's go back to the Equifax website. Then I'll click on the Equifax logo up here. And this is the page that will appear. I'll click on Login, and on the login page that pops up, I'll click on Login again. And here, I'll enter my email address and password and click on Sign into my Equifax. And my Equifax summary screen will pop up next. As we can see, my Equifax credit report is frozen. To unfreeze it, I'll simply select Manage a Freeze here. And from the next screen that appears, I'll hit the Manage a Freeze button. And this page will now show up asking me what I want to do. If I scroll down, I see that I can either temporarily lift or permanently remove the freeze from my Equifax credit report for free so that it's available to potential lenders or creditors. I'll select temporarily lift a security freeze so that I can show you how this works. And more importantly, because this is probably what I'd most likely do in real life. And then I'll hit continue. On the next screen that appears, I'll just put in the dates here that I want my credit freeze to be temporarily lifted. I'll just enter March 15th, 2023 to March 31st, 2023 as an example. Then I'll scroll down and hit continue. And here's the page that appears next, reconfirming that I'm about to temporarily lift my credit freeze from my Equifax credit report from this date through to this date. As always, I'll scroll down and read through all this additional information, and once I'm okay with everything, I'll click on Temporarily Lift a Freeze. And here's my confirmation screen. I can now apply for my new credit card or loan during this temporary credit freeze period, assuming I've also unfroze my Experian and TransUnion credit reports. When I'm ready to refreeze my credit, I'll simply log back into my Equifax account to get to this summary screen and select Manage a Freeze again. Or I can just wait until my Equifax account refreezes automatically at the end of the unfreeze period that I entered previously. In our example, I unfroze my credit from March 15th to March 31st. So after that end date, Equifax will automatically freeze my account again. Now, that was Equifax and how to freeze and unfreeze your credit with them. Check out this video here if you want to see how to do this step by step with Experian, or if you want to learn more about the differences between a credit freeze, credit lock, and fraud alert, because there are certain instances when a fraud alert may be preferable over a credit freeze. All right, Super Saver, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And if you did, don't forget to share it with those you care about. And of course, to hit that thumbs up, and see you again very soon with another brand new wealth building video.